Greg Moore is a man with two brains. Beneath his highly evolved and rational brain lurks a more primitive animal brain.
Greg, great news about the promotion.
Oh, cheers.
Tonight, it's going to get the better of him.
The accounts manager. He's a bit of an operator.
Sorry, I've got to go. Hi, Laura. Have you finished work for the day then? Did you hear about my good news?
Your promotion, yeah, congratulations.
All right, thanks. I'm going for a drink later to celebrate with a few friends.
Sounds like you deserve it.
What?
A drink.
All right.
Most of the time, Greg's behavior is controlled by his higher rational brain. But certain sights or sounds can trigger his animal brain to take over. From his ear, a signal flashes deep into his brain, to his limbic system, the part which has barely evolved beyond the brain of a lizard. The limbic system may be primitive, but without it, Greg would not survive. Millions of interconnected brain cells process the screeching sound signal and recognize danger. They fire signals down nerves into Greg's body. The hormone adrenaline is let loose in his bloodstream and spreads to every organ. In an instant, Greg's entire body is transformed. Without conscious thought, he saves himself.
What are you, blind? You idiot! Why don't you look where you're going? You don't just step off.
The awesome power of Greg's limbic system is normally kept in check by his higher brain.
You don't just step off the curb and walk in front of a vehicle. Or you'll get yourself killed.
Are you all right?
But for a few moments, his rational brain has been sidelined. The beast within Greg is unleashed.
So, can you come tonight?
Well, I'm going to a party. But I might come to a drink first.
Oh, Laura, I adore ya. You're my little Laura.
The conflict between primitive brain and higher brain is a fundamental part of human nature. The folded matter of Greg's higher brain, his cerebral cortex, makes him a civilized, intelligent being. Burning below is his limbic system, harboring his primal drives. But although the primitive brain only takes over in moments of crisis, it's in constant control of the basic functions of Greg's body. Day and night, it triggers the release of waves of hormones into his bloodstream. One of these is testosterone. It spreads everywhere and has effects all over his body. When it reaches the pores in his skin, it triggers hair growth. The more testosterone there is in his blood, the more often he needs to shave. Without testosterone, Greg would have no sex drive. Today, because of his promotion, his levels are particularly high. The hairs on his face are a little longer than normal.
Ouch.
Greg's primitive brain influences his behavior in subtle ways. His higher brain may link the note with the idea of food, but that thought triggers something deeper in his animal brain. To survive, Greg needs to eat. To make sure he does, his brain connects the thought of food with the promise of pleasure. The act of chewing and swallowing triggers the release of a chemical called dopamine in Greg's limbic system. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, a chemical that is pumped across the gaps between brain cells, enabling electrical signals to travel from one cell to another and onwards through the brain. No one knows exactly how, but dopamine stimulates pleasure pathways in the brain. It gives Greg a chemical high. Whenever we eat or have sex, or do anything else to further our survival, our brains reward us with dopamine. It's our brain's way of making sure we survive. But these survival drives can easily be hijacked. Because the brain runs on chemicals, we can fool it using chemicals.
All he said was, I have what it takes. I ain't selling. You're gonna go straight in for the kill. I'm a shark.
Alcohol passes into Greg's bloodstream from his stomach almost instantly. His blood circulates it around his entire body. Extra thick blood vessel walls protect his brain from most toxins in the blood, but alcohol molecules are so tiny that they slip through with ease. Just seconds after taking a sip, alcohol is floating through the fluid of Greg's brain.
He even gave me this, look. State of the art.
Nice.
Today's my lucky day. Cheers.
Cheers.
Somehow, alcohol stimulates the brain to release dopamine. Every other addictive drug has the same effect.
Now, if Laura turns up, I'm gonna play it cool.
Greg is getting a chemical high without doing anything to further his survival.
All right, do you girls want a drink?
Ah, excellent.
Cheers.
Greg is hooked on dopamine.
Please, yeah, thanks.
And he's just seen an opportunity for another hit. Another survival drive is kicking in. The drive to reproduce.
Laura,
Hi.
you made it then?
Had to dodge a few taxis to get here.
Yeah, I like your dress. It's very nice. It goes well with your eyes.
Yeah, I think it's a bit revealing, do you?
No.
Just as in his encounter with the taxi, Greg's limbic system is taking over his body again. But this time the trigger isn't danger. It's desire. The primitive brain has only one way of shifting Greg's body up a gear. Again, his heart begins to race, and adrenaline surges through his bloodstream. His body may be reacting the same way, but he reads the signals differently. Now he's not scared. He's aroused.
Did you cut yourself, Shane?
It's okay.
The capillaries beneath the skin of Greg's face are swelling, bringing more blood to the surface.
And my razor's a bit blunt.
By making Greg blush, his animal brain is telling Laura that he's sexually aroused. But his higher brain is trying to be cool.
Yeah. You should see my legs. They're torn to shreds.
The conflict between his two brains is making him anxious.
Oh, I've got to go. That party I told you about. Come if you want.
Yeah. Maybe later. Where is it?
Hang on.
Greg's higher brain is just about keeping him in check. For now. Two bottles of beer later, inside Greg's skull, the balance of power is changing. Like a sponge, his brain is soaking up alcohol. and alcohol switches brain cells off. At the point where electrical signals pass from one cell to another, alcohol molecules dissolve into the cell membrane and start to block the signals. The cell can no longer transmit messages through his brain. The effects of alcohol are felt in all parts of Greg's brain, but it hits first in his elaborate cerebral cortex. With his higher, rational brain muted, his lower animal brain is free to take control. Thousands of years of evolution are dissolved in a few bottles of beer.
I'm here. Impressed?
No.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, I misread the address. Gate crashed 2 other parties. Yeah. Should we dance?
As Greg sees another chance to reproduce, his primitive brain commands his body to produce sweat. His 2.5 million sweat glands can make up to 5 pints of sweat in an hour. Sweating is mainly designed to cool Greg down, but it has another sexual role. Deep inside the pores in his armpit, testosterone is being converted into a chemical called androstenol and carried by sweat to the surface. Tiny bacteria which live on Greg's skin feast on the androstenol. The waste product of their meal is a strong scent. This scent may be the human equivalent of pheromones, powerful chemicals which trigger mating behavior in other animals. Laura too is giving off a scent which has a powerful effect on Greg. In the roof of his nostril is the only part of his brain exposed to the outside world. As scent molecules waft in, they strike nerve endings, sending signals straight into Greg's primitive brain. Unlike all our other senses, smell shortcuts the higher brain and plugs directly into the limbic system. This is why smells can inflame unconscious animal drives, independent of our rational minds.
Hello.
Greg's biggest sex organ is his brain. Alcohol may be blocking signals in his higher brain, but the pleasure pathways in his primitive brain can still be activated with dopamine. Greg's limbic system is rewarding him for trying to promote the survival of his genes. "10% of the area in his brain which interprets touch is linked to the nerves in his lips. When he and Laura kiss, she is effectively stimulating 1/10 of his body in one go. Greg's animal brain directs more and more blood to the surface of his skin. Engorged with blood, his skin gets hotter by as much as 3 degrees centigrade. The touch receptors in his skin become more sensitive to Laura's kisses and caresses. His quest for pleasure is about to be satisfied.
My place is 5 minutes away. St. Francis Street.
Okay, I just got to go to the bathroom first.
I'll wait for you outside.
You are a shark. Oh, Laura, I adore you. Excellent. Wait.
Greg now faces a different kind of crisis, one that requires his higher brain. But just when he needs it most, it's been stifled by alcohol.
Oh, no.
His primitive brain is left to work out what to do. And its solutions are never subtle. Adrenaline diverts blood towards Greg's muscles, maximizing their strength.
Hello?
He's ready for a fight.
Can somebody open the door?
Sustained aggression demands energy. So adrenaline also liberates stored supplies of sugar to keep his muscles going. With the prospect of pleasure snatched away, Greg goes in search of dopamine again. But his only source is more alcohol.
Hello? Yeah, do you know where St. Francis Street is, please?
Nah, mate.
Yeah, do you know where St. Francis Street is at all?
No.
Excuse me, do you know where St. Francis Street is, please?
No, sorry.
In the past 4 hours, Greg has drunk the equivalent of 8 bottles of beer. His liver works hard to break down the alcohol. And this disrupts other liver functions, including the control of his blood sugar levels. Greg feels desperately hungry.
Pizza. Let's get a pizza. Gotta get a pizza. Come on, I must eat some pizza, come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, hello, yeah. Can I order a pizza that you can deliver, please? Yeah, hello? Hello, excuse me. Hello, yeah, do you know where St. Francis Street is? Not at all. All right, cheers. Greg? Excellent, man, cheers. Superb.
Half an hour later, Greg has consumed the equivalent of 4 more bottles of beer. He's drinking it 8 times faster than his liver can get rid of it. His higher brain gave up on him hours ago. Now even his primitive brain is starting to shut down. As his limbic system falters, his brain is unable to control the most basic bodily functions. Too much water is passing from his blood into his bladder. No matter how much he drinks, his body passes more. He's getting dehydrated.
I'm going for a drink later. Celebrate with a few friends.
Sounds like you deserve it.
Greg has now consumed the equivalent of 14 bottles of beer. Alcohol has reached the base of his brain. Here it starts to sedate his cerebellum, the part of the brain which has kept humans upright ever since we first stood up on two legs. Luckily for Greg, the alcohol in his spinal cord has switched off many of the nerves which feed pain signals to his brain. If it weren't for its dangerous side effects, alcohol would be the perfect anesthetic. Greg's brain is now saturated with alcohol. Barely any signals pass through his brain cells. Yet, remarkably, a one-off drinking binge like this won't kill any of them. But if Greg were to do this more often, he could cause his brain permanent damage. Greg's hangover has many causes. The fluid lost from his system has left his brain dehydrated. His blood is full of toxins produced by his liver as it breaks down the alcohol. His higher brain has started to function again. And it's just beginning to appreciate what his primitive brain drove him to last night.
What the hell are you doing here?
Oh,
Did you follow me home?
no. No, I was trying... Yeah. I got you these.
So you remember us kissing?
Yeah, of course.
And you don't regret it?
No.
You look like you could do with a coffee. You better come inside.
Body Story by Dr. David Williams is available from most bookshops, priced $18.99.